everyone, and welcome to The Unusual Suspects, episode 1. This is a podcast where we're going to talk about movies, we're going to talk about things we're passionate about, we may get angry, we may get very passionate about, already said that word, but we love to talk about films and little details and little things that we love to rage on or talk about with other people. I keep saying talk about, this is a terrible intro to the podcast. Joining me to my left in my virtual Zoom call chair is Andy. Hello, Andy.
Hello.
How are you today, Andy?
I'm all right, man. How are you doing?
I'm great. And joining me to my right is Penny. Hello, Penny.
Hiya.
How are you today?
Yeah, not too bad, cheers.
Fantastic. Okay, so we definitely didn't record another podcast before this one, so I'm definitely not going to refer to that podcast, but it's fine. This is definitely podcast number 1. And I guess we'll all talk about ourselves and say a little bit about what we are and what we do. So I'm Dan. I mainly do video game stuff on YouTube. I run a channel called Different Level, and I secretly like movies and mostly terrible ones, as I've found out recently. So there you go. Andy, what are you?
What am I? That's a vague question. I am Andy. I write and do editing stuff.
Yes. Sorry. I couldn't help myself. I'm sorry. Okay, so to explain, we're set up like a new studio thing, and there's like a sound bar, whatever you want to call it, the soundboard, and there's a drums thing that always gets Andy every time I play it, so I had to play it there. I'm sorry, I'll never play it again. There you go. Sorry.
That's a lie, you will.
Already, I am inwardly raging. Anyway, I do a bit of writing. I work with Penny at Punktastic. I once used to work at a video shop, a rental place. It was great. Best job I've ever had.
What was the name of that place?
Tomorrow's World.
Oh, I've been there.
Yeah, it's now shut down. It's been gone for about a decade. Yeah.
Did it shut down because of you?
Shut down after I left.
Oh.
They realised all the knowledge had left the store, so they couldn't keep it going.
Oh, okay. Well, those kids' films really do come in handy anyway. So there you
Very
go.
much so.
And Penny, who are you?
Oh, I like that. I'm who am I, not what am I.
What are you?
Yeah, I edit a music website, ironically, called Punktastic, but I don't know as much about music as I like to think I know about movies.
Okay, so you all know us very well, obviously, right now. So the way this is going to work, this podcast, and we've been trying out things for the last couple of weeks and just trying to discuss things. So essentially, it will form over time, but what we have at the moment is this podcast will feature segments from each of us. We'll each talk about a specific thing that we either like watched or something we want to discuss, or it could be anything at all. So we've each put a bunch of movies into a hat, and at the end of the episode, we're going to pull that movie out of a hat, and then next week, at the end of next week's episode, we're going to discuss it. Que sera, we do the same thing again, and therefore you can watch it along with us if you want. It's up to you, but we'll leave the discussion of that movie to the end to avoid spoilers, so we don't talk about it in the first 5 minutes of the podcast, and you go, oh, spoilers. But the main segments of this is we each have a thing we want to bring to the table, we each discuss it, and that's this podcast.
Woo!
Is that right, guys? Okay, perfect. Okay. Before we get into each other's segments, does anyone have anything they want to talk about that they saw recently? I know me and Andy probably want to slightly talk about I keep calling it the Midnight Express. That's the Tom Hanks film, isn't it? The Polar Express, sorry. Yeah, what's it called?
Midnight Gospel.
The Midnight Gospel. It's the guy who made Adventure Time, isn't it? It's the creator, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah, Pendleton Ward. Let's use his proper name.
Okay, sorry, mate. I'm not a huge fan of Adventure Time, I should point out, but either way, go on. Would you like to explain what it is? Because I couldn't fucking explain what it is.
Yeah, so it is a series based around podcasts done by a comedian. I can't remember his name. Duncan something?
Duncan Trussell.
Yes,
that's the one.
It, yeah.
But it's animated by Pendleton Ward. And they talk about like some quite conceptual ideas. So they talk about different drugs and the effects that has, and life and death, and meditation and magic. So it's quite profound ideas, but the backdrop and the animation is fucking bonkers. It's just really, really weird.
It's a bit. I said to you yesterday. I think I said I could only watch like 2 maximum, and they're like 20 minutes long, like each of the episodes. But they were so like over the top and trippy that it's just like it's too much to like just process in your brain sometimes what's going on. But I don't know. I like the idea of it because I don't think like it's literally just a podcast on a Netflix show. It's on Netflix, by the way. But they're animating the podcast in a certain way that you wouldn't expect it to be animated in a weird way. It's hard to describe to people, but I like it a little bit.
I really like it. It sings to me. It's my sort of thing. Bit odd, very Adventure Time, and, you know, big ideas.
It's a little bit like if you're expecting Adventure Time, it's a little bit too adulty, I guess, than Adventure Time is.
Well, yeah, I mean, some of Adventure Time is a bit sinister in places, but yeah, this whole series seems to be along that sort of level.
Yeah. Anything you've seen, Penny? Or have you seen it?
Oh, I watched. That's what I'm going to talk about today. The awful horror movie that I watched.
Oh,
today.
right. Okay. So should we start off with you? There you go. You got yourself in a hole.
I can
now.
start with that if you like.
Right. Let's start with Penny.
As the resident horror movie nerd, I finally got around to getting a 30-day free trial of Shudder.
Ooh.
Exciting.
Yeah, so Shudder is, horror movie subscription service like Netflix. Not a whole lot on it so far. A lot of originals and a lot of films you think, I've never seen that, and there's probably a reason why you haven't seen it.
Very B-movie stuff.
I think so. I watched the new series of Creep Show. For a quick description, Creep Show is it was a couple of movies in the, I'm going to get this wrong now, the 80s. But it's like an anthology. It's short, scary, weird stories.
Like Goosebumps.
Yeah, like Goosebumps, but not for children. Or if you're a grown-up, it's more like Tales from the Crypt, which is my favourite TV show ever.
Okay, right.
Yeah, and it is mostly done by Greg Nicotero, who does the special effects and the practical effects in The Walking Dead. So I binged that in 2 days, and that is worth the free trial alone. So I highly recommend getting that and watching Creep Show.
So how long is Creep Show? Is it just a...
They've done 7 episodes, and there's 2 stories in each episode, so about 40 minutes each.
Oh, okay.
Right. They are working on series 2, apparently. But yeah, you can bash that out in a couple of days and then cancel it if there's nothing else that you fancy.
Is there anything else that you found on there? I was going to say.
I did put a bunch of stuff on my watch list, but apparently today I thought I would pick a 2016 movie called Found Footage 3D.
Oh.
God, I love a 3D film.
I've been waiting to hear about this.
The thing is, I don't have a 3D TV.
Well, then you can't watch it, obviously.
Well, they have it in 3D and then a different type of 3D and in 2D.
So they made it... hang on a minute. So they made a 3D movie and you can only watch it in 3D?
No, they did make a 2D version as well.
Oh, okay. I was going to say they really fucked themselves there if they made 3D only. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So for some reason, I thought that would be the way to go, but in 2D. So I basically took away its one gimmick.
I'm sure it has plenty more up its sleeve.
It must have a really good narrative, I would have thought.
Yeah, I was thinking like
strong
characters, themes, anything.
Oh, well, I did remember all the characters' names by the end of the movie. So that's, I was invested by the end. And by invested, I mean I'd remembered.
What is the plot of the film?
I really want to know the plot.
So basically, a bunch of people led by a man called Derek, they're going to make a found footage movie because why wouldn't you?
No, Derek just threw me off.
Oh,
What's wrong with Derek?
It's just
Derek is not the name of a hero in a horror film.
Oh, he's not the hero. He's an awful douchebag.
Oh, okay, all right.
But he's like, I want to make a movie.
Is he in his late 70s?
No. One of my very good friends is called Derek. Nobody ever calls him Derek, but that's not the point. Shout out to Derek. Oh, I can't even call him that. I need to cut that bit out. But yeah. So, how do you make a different found footage movie? How do you make it different? You make it in 3D. But also, you don't actually make it. The whole plot of the movie is the behind the scenes footage of them making the found footage movie in 3D.
No.
Yeah.
What? So hang on.
So 90% of the movie is about them making the movie rather than the movie. Dan looks so confused right now.
Yeah.
Is it like a fourth wall breaking thing where the actual story is what happens behind the scenes?
Yes.
Right, okay. Well, that's fine.
Okay. That threw me off now.
That's quite an interesting concept, in fairness. Assuming there's horror elements in the behind the scene bits and not... Is there?
Yeah, I suppose.
So,
convincing.
So what is this movie? Is this a behind the scenes movie? Or
it's a behind the scenes. So basically, Derek and his pals are going to make the movie The Spectre of Death.
Okay.
And this movie is about them making it. I don't know how else to explain this.
No, I'm with you. I'm totally with you.
Dan's brain is hurting.
Brain overload. Right. So, but that's not a movie then, is it? It's like a...
No, but it's fake. It's the fake behind the scenes of the fake movie.
Is it a bit like Cabin in the Woods?
No, because Cabin in the Woods is amazing and this is terrible.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? It knows it's a horror. It knows it's trying to be a horror film, but it's not really a horror film in a way.
No, I think it knows it's a horror film and it's just trying to do a found footage film differently, but doesn't.
It can't be... They can't call it found footage if it's just someone filming. It's not found footage if someone's filming behind the scenes. That's open footage. That's not hidden or anything.
No, because as I learned today, one of the two main rules of found footage movies is that everybody dies. So it's so meta that it becomes a found footage movie.
I was fully on board with this. I knew what was happening, and then you throw that rule out there.
I didn't realise this would be so complicated.
No, I mean, it is. Well, we get what... Fuck, I've lost it already. Here we go.
Guide us through it, Pen. Guide us through it. We'll work out as we go along.
Just keep going. I'm just going to be like this for the next half an hour. Go.
So you've got Derek and his friends, and they're going to a cabin in the woods to make the movie, but they're also filming all the behind the scenes stuff as well. You know, for like the Laserdisc extras.
Bonus features.
Yeah.
Is there a behind the scenes of the behind the scenes?
I didn't look that far. I had to turn it off.
Okay, fair enough.
If I can find one, you can watch it. How's that?
Oh, I can't wait.
So the biggest thing with this movie is, like Andy said, kind of fourth wall breaking. It is taking the piss out of found footage movies.
Right.
But there's like a really thin line between like taking the piss out of them and the people that watch them and basically saying, this is fucking stupid. Why are you watching this? You're a moron.
So it's a satire more than anything.
I think it tried to be.
Oh, it's not that good.
Didn't really work. There's a lot of, you know, like in Scream where Randy does the horror movie rules.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like that, but not subtle and not good. They bring it up they keep talking about why do people make found footage movies and why do people watch them? And to be honest, at the end of this movie, I don't have the answer to either of those questions. I don't know why anyone made this movie, and I don't really know why I watched it.
That's they made a movie to take the piss out of something they don't understand. That's to me is just like, oh, what the fuck? What's the point? What's the point of this?
Have you seen Disaster Movie? That's exactly the same, isn't it?
Disaster Movie?
Yeah, it's like Epic Movie.
Or like Scary Movie, but it's like, it's not enough of a piss take to be like Scary Movie.
Yeah, but like Scary Movie is, or Disaster, or any of those, they're satire.
They're spoofs. They're spoof films, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is still trying to be a horror movie.
That's the problem. It's like, oh, we get that you think that we're going to go about this in a normal way, but oh no, we're going to take the piss out of it, but we're not actually going to take the piss. We're actually going to still try to be scary because we actually like horror.
So it sounds like there's two films in this, right? There's the one that Penny watched,
Yeah.
and internally to that, there's the film that they're making. So Penny sees the film that they're making and the behind the scenes.
The behind the scenes is the main bit.
Yeah.
you see a very small amount of actual footage of the said movie, of what's it called, Spectre of Death.
But so Spectre of Death, is that the spoof, or is that like the...
That's their movie that they are making.
Are they trying to make it a parody, or is the whole...
No.
Oh, okay, so...
That's trying to be horror.
Spectre of Death is real.
So the whole thing is just shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Where's the drums? The whole thing is just shit.
So they do kind of, they're like, so they're meta. They'll be like, oh, who watches this and why are we making this? And they'll be like, ugh, jump scares. Oh, we can't have a jump scare. Jump scares are completely overused and they're cliched. And then they immediately use one, which neither made me jump or scared.
Oh my God.
You've broken him.
I've broken him. It's only taken 17 and a half minutes.
This is the kind of shit that annoys me. I hate that kind of like, oh, we're not going to take the piss out because we don't like it. Immediately fucking do something that's similar to what they talked about. I'm so sorry, but yeah, I hate that.
Yeah, like don't go and investigate noises, and then obviously that is what they go and do. Yeah, so we will get into I say plot. I will use it loosely. So they've gone off. They're going to so Derek and his wife.
Sorry, I'm struggling with Derek here.
I know the Derek thing is... All right, sorry.
I mean, like, I can't think of a way to even change his name. Derek and Amy are a married couple. They wrote the movie. They hate each other now. That's the B story. Or is it the C story, I guess?
So in the movie, they made this movie. Yeah, okay.
They wrote this movie and they're both the main characters and they hate each other. Okay. So they go to somebody's cabin in the woods, and on the way there, they stop for, I don't think it was gas, but they stop for something. And there's these two rednecks sitting on a porch. And they're like, oh my God, they look like the two rednecks at the beginning of every horror film. We should go and film them. Yep. So they go up to the guys and they're like, oh, we're doing a movie. Can we film you? Like, yeah. And they're like, we're going to ask you, do you know how to get to the old man's place up the road? And you guys need to go, oh no, don't go up there, it's scary, like don't, like all horror movies. And they're like, okay. And they film it, and the first time they ask, do you know how to get to this old cabin? And they're like, oh yeah, it's up like the 127 or whatever it is. And they're like, no, cut. And I'm like, it's so bad. And then eventually they get the old men to say, oh, you don't want to go there, like really unconvincingly. They're like, yeah, you don't want to go there, like bad things happen. And they all kind of look at each other and they're like, yeah, fine, cut, we'll use it. And then they have to get them to sign a release form. So the old men are signing the release form, and they're like, where are you really going? And they're like, oh, we're going to the cabin by the lake. And they're like, oh, no, don't go there. It's haunted.
This is like something a fucking 7-year-old came up with.
I just don't understand. Maybe we'll understand it by the end of it. Maybe we won't. But yeah, if it was a spoof, that would be a funny joke, but it's not a spoof.
Yeah, that's the thing. If it was just a spoof, I like the fact they're trying something odd with this, because I immediately thought it was like a shitty horror film when you said, oh yeah, it's a 3D found footage. I
mean, I think it still is.
Well, it sounds like it doesn't know what the fuck it wants to be.
I've just checked this out on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's got 100%.
What? How many reviews?
100%. Wow, okay. 6 reviews, 100%. The audience score, however, is 49% of 135 reviews. I think there's just a lot of people who don't get it. It's a pastiche, and people can't appreciate that.
That's the cast just fucking putting that in there. That's what they're fucking doing.
Yeah, it might be.
All 7 of them, I think it is. There's not a lot of them. So they go up to the cabin, and obviously it's very cliched. It's dirty, it's disgusting, no one's been there for ages. There's a mysterious stains on the floor, could be blood, could be...
Did they make a joke about that too? Because I'm fully expecting it at this point.
Not really a joke, but it does get pointed out. Like a couple of the girls, obviously, because girls are scared of everything, are like, oh, there's like stains. Like, what's that? And everyone's like, no, it's fine, it's just dirty and gross.
Are girls generally scared of stains?
I was going to say... Stains.
It depends on the stain, but let's move on.
No comments. This is a PG podcast.
Moving on.
PG podcast.
Moving on.
And basically, it's them tidying up the house, and it's all very boring. Nothing goes on for a while. The camera guy, Mark, so the man you don't see very often, because he is the guy doing all the footage, and who is also Derek's brother. He's wandering around and filming everything as you do. But it kind of does lead to some really interesting visuals. One of my favorite, I don't want to use the word favorite. One of the parts that I kind of liked, he's editing his footage at the end of the night, and he's got his editing screen is the whole screen, and then he's in the corner. It must be like his webcam looking at him, and he's doing it like picture in picture. So he's filming it for YouTube or something. So it'll be like him in the corner, like, this is where we edited this bit.
Okay, right.
Right.
And then he realizes he found some weird stuff in the footage. Yeah.
What kind of weird stuff?
He zooms in on part of the scene and zooms in on a window.
Is it another stain?
Well, originally I didn't know what we were looking at. He's like, look at what I found. And I'm like...
I think you've lost your audience if you're just standing there going, what is it?
He's like zoomed in on this net curtain.
Right. And did they explain? Or?
And I really didn't know what I was looking at. Well, at first I thought it was a bit on the side of the window, but apparently that wasn't it, because when I rewound it, that wasn't it.
You had to rewind it.
Yeah, I just have to rewind. It gets better, because I didn't really know what was going on until they put the scary music in as well. So he's going, look at this footage, right? Dan's gone. He's gone. They're going, look at this footage, and I'm looking at this footage. And he's like, I don't remember there being people there. I don't know what it is. Oh, I'm crazy. And he just walks off. He just walks away from the computer. So
what?
On screen, you've still got his editing screen zoomed in on the footage. And then a little picture in the corner is just the chair he was sitting in, and he's left. And I'm like, okay. And then some scary music starts. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm supposed to be seeing something right now. And I'm looking at the net curtain, and you kind of see a bit of a shape wiggling around, and it gets a little bit darker, and then it disappears, and the music stops, and then he comes back.
And you're sure there wasn't something where his chair was, and you were just looking at the wrong part of the screen?
No, because I rewound it. I had to check.
Oh, God. Why was he filming a net curtain anyway?
No, it was a scene with Derek and Amy. They don't have actors' names. They use their same names all the way through, which is really confusing. I'm thinking because they don't want you to know whether it's the movie or the behind-the-scenes footage.
I gotta be honest, Penny, you knocked it out of the park with this. This is maybe the funniest thing I've ever heard in my fucking life. I gotta be honest.
Good, because it wasn't that funny to watch. I wish it had been.
I am watching this.
To be fair, I don't know, digressing slightly, did anyone watch Saw, the 3D Saw movie?
Yeah, I think I did when it came out.
Yeah, it was dreadful.
Get out.
Sorry.
You know how much I love the Saw movies. But there are bits of it where you know that it's supposed to be in 3D, you know, like a spike comes out. Yeah. I don't know where the 3D bits were in this movie.
It's the window, it's the curtains. It's just...
I don't know. I kind of want to watch it in 3D.
Maybe it was supposed to be like Avatar and its depth of field, except it's just the laptop screen and nothing behind that and then that curtain.
That's their budget gone.
Because weirdly, when I first started watching it, it was kind of shaky and weird. I was like, oh, I hope it's not like this the whole time because I feel a bit sick.
Oh, like camera shake.
Yeah, but then that didn't last very long.
Like proper found footage.
Yeah, but then it was fine. So yeah. So I don't know whether there was like no spikes came out, nothing like fell down in your face to make you jump in 3D. I don't know where the 3D part.
Maybe the bit where he said, "Do you see that?" and you didn't see it. Maybe like a little ghost face comes across the screen.
So maybe that's why I couldn't see it. So they do that again because that's the only kind of slightly new bit of the found footage that they do. Like later on, he's sitting at his computer, and it's like the old. There's someone behind me in the mirror, and I turn around and they're not there. He did it with his computer camera, but again, if they hadn't put the music on, I wouldn't have known anything was going on. They had to tell me with music that something was happening.
The music helps you. It's like, oh, this is the scary bit. Here we come.
Yep, pretty much.
I'm tempted to watch this on mute. with subtitles instead.
Oh my god, I cannot wait. Yeah. I'm getting 3D glasses for this thing.
Well, I've got 3D glasses from the cinema, but I don't. There's two different types of 3D versions of it on Shudder, and I literally don't know how 3D works without 3D TV.
Yeah, isn't it? Well, there's the red and blue, the old school 3D.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, probably got some of those.
Yeah. I don't know how high tech their 3D was, but either way.
No.
Well, I don't. It sounds like there's no 3D elements in it, so don't waste your time.
Wonder if I could YouTube it. Where are the 3D bits in this movie? Maybe somebody's collated them or something. But yeah, so Mark doesn't tell anyone that he's seen a ghost. Probably because he's not sure, because I wasn't sure either. And they carry on filming the movie. And, the usual things happen. Creepy stuff starts to happen. Nobody really pays any attention. And this is where the blurring of the lines between the movie and the behind the scenes footage gets confusing.
Right.
Derek, I feel like I'm just going to pause so you can put something in after.
No, I'm fine. It's over now.
No. I had it that time. I had it.
Derek and Amy are doing a scene where they hate each other and they're shouting at each other. And then for some reason, she feels bad that she's shouting at him and she stops and she ruins the scene. And they're like, no, keep going. And she's like, oh, I can't. I need to go. And he's a douchebag to her. So she just screams, like proper, just like, ah! And all the plates and all the cutlery and everything comes flying out of the cupboards and smashes on the floor. And I was like, oh shit. Okay. None of them are bothered. Nobody bats an eyelid. And then she walks off and they're like, I thought that wasn't supposed to go off because you called cut. So it was like a part of the movie, but it wasn't supposed to happen yet. It went off early. Yeah, it was confusing.
Hang on. I'm struggling here, Pen. So the cutlery and all the plates were supposed to come off as part of the film.
All right, so it was an effect.
And they just triggered it early during the behind the scenes.
Apparently they didn't trigger it early because it was unplugged. Spooky.
That's the twist of the fucking film.
It was unplugged.
Yeah, it was unplugged. But I was so confused because they made it look like it happened because they could have been arguing in real life in the behind the scenes. You can't tell where the film is and where the behind the scenes is.
Yeah, and then it just confuses the fucking viewer and you're just like, what the fuck? I don't know what I meant. Like, I hate that.
Yeah.
That's just them trying to be fucking smart arses about it. That's literally what they're trying to do. And they're just like, oh, look how creative we are. It's like, no, it's fucking... Anyway.
Yeah. And then you're like, oh, something happened. Oh, no, it didn't. Never mind.
Yeah. I've got a question about the plates, if that's okay, Penelope.
Yes. Andrew?
How 3D were they?
I don't think they were, because from what I can remember, seeing as I only watched this about 3 hours ago, is the angle of the camera, it's the two of them, like right and left, and the plates and everything come out of the cupboards behind them. So across the screen, they do not come out of the screen at you.
Oh, it's an overlay. There's no plates about you. You know, like just like a video of a plate flying across like that.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it goes across the screen, not at you. So I doubt they were very 3D.
That is such a waste.
Definitely.
They should have had it coming towards them and the screen.
I cannot wait. Oh, this sounds amazing.
Well, we'll have to see if we can watch it in 3D and find out.
I can't wait for the sequel.
Found footage 4D in smell-o-vision. That I would watch.
All those stains.
So to go with more cliched horror movie tropes, they do the best use of a scary misdirect. Well, my favourite, I don't think it's best is probably not the right word. You know, in horror films, they'll have like a cat jumping out. You know, you think it's the murderer and it's not, it's a cat. Or, you know, there's something in a mirror behind you. They don't do that. Everyone's asleep in the cabin and someone is screaming. And you're like, oh, shit is going down. Something's happening. It's a woman screaming. They all wake up. Obviously, Mark gets the camera because he's seen the ghost, the spectre. So he has to film everything now because they constantly have to remind you why they are filming all the way through. That's one of the rules. Why are they filming this in the first place? Why were they filming in The Blair Witch? Because they were doing a documentary. Why are they filming in this? Fuck knows, really.
Because they're making a shit film.
Yeah, because if you were really filming a behind the scenes and you were woken up in the middle of the night, you wouldn't grab the camera. But it makes sense.
No, it's a horror cliche.
Yeah, but because he's seen the ghost, it's all right. So they all like, oh, what's happening on? And they're like, oh, Amy's not here. Well, yeah, it's a woman screaming. Amy's not here. And then they're like, oh, Derek's not here either. Oh my God, the ghost has got them. They all go up, they run out with their shaky found footage, they run into the woods, they run towards the scream. It's all very exciting. And no, it's just Derek and Amy banging really loudly in the woods. Dan's left the building.
I'm sorry, I had to walk away.
Was that in 3D?
Again, no, see, they were side on.
Again, it's a waste. You could have a massive nutsack coming towards the screen.
Well, I don't think they know that everyone sees them because she says, why the fuck did you stop? And he starts banging her again. And then she starts screaming, I hate you, fuck you. And then that's the end of that scene.
Oscar award winning.
Well, that's just it.
That was it. So it wasn't a ghost. It was just them banging really loudly.
What was the scene afterwards?
The scene afterwards was even weirder, and I had to rewind this, and I still don't know the answer. Well, it said day 10, and to be honest, I hadn't been paying attention to what the day before was, so I don't know if they were banging in day 9 or day 7. I wasn't paying attention. But she comes out of the cabin, day 10, next morning. She's got a black eye.
Sorry. That came out of nowhere.
Yep.
Andy was drinking.
That was the wrong time to try and drink.
Oh, God. Right. She's got a black eye. Okay. Right. Serious thing. Okay.
Yep. Nobody mentions it. The other girl, Lily, puts makeup on it because I thought maybe it was for the shoot, but then while she's putting makeup on it, she's like, does that hurt? So I rewound it. Don't know why she got a black eye.
Maybe it was from the vigorous 3D intercourse.
I assume so, because then they were just like, we'll just write it into the script. So then there was a piece of the actual movie that was just her standing in the woods. And the husband's like, are you okay? Are you okay? He taps her on the shoulder and she's like, where am I? And he's like, what happened to your eye? And I'm like, I don't know what happened to her eye. I can't tell.
This just is...
This film is amazing. Oh, I really want to watch it.
This sounds unbelievable. I gotta be honest.
Yeah, so because nothing spooky has happened, technically, they carry on. They're all getting a bit annoyed at each other, so they go to a bar. There is no reason they go to the bar. Mark films them while they're at the bar. There is no reason for that. But it is purely to get to the next part of the plot, where when they get back, the house has been trashed. Still don't really know why the house was trashed either. But it freaks out. It's literally, there's this bit in the bar, I think it was like they didn't know how to get from black eye to trashed cabin.
Nah, the bar. Yeah.
Then we'll take them to the bar and that gets them out of the cabin, which is in the middle of nowhere because otherwise they have nowhere to go.
Right.
And the place is trashed. But that freaks out the sound man, who I think is named Carl. I can't remember. And he's like, I want to leave. This is spooky. I don't like it. This is bullshit. And then Derek's like, you can't leave because I own your camera gear, basically.
Ooh. He's a sound man. What does he mean camera gear? He's a sound man.
Sound gear, sorry.
I own your stuff.
Oh, okay.
It's a stupid bit about the sound guy. We'll call him Carl. Sorry if he's not Carl. Carl owed him money for the sound equipment, and that's why he's doing the shitty movie, not a movie with Ben Affleck, which he turned down to do this movie. They keep pointing out.
Oh, you have to be.
Oh, that's a stretch, isn't it? If he did the film with Affleck, he could quite easily pay back for the...
Yeah.
Instead of doing him a favour.
Makes no sense. But they get in a little dig about how he doesn't like Ben Affleck, so...
Like he knows him. Like any of the fucking members of this know Ben Affleck. Like they're so stuck up their own arse that they think, oh yeah, Ben wouldn't arrive, but we know him. We're good friends and shit.
Please tell me Matt Damon plays Derek.
No, sadly not. Might be more enjoyable. So yeah, they're like, he can't leave. And he's like, fine, goes to bed. Next morning they all get up and Carl's gone. And nobody thinks that's weird, even though he's left all his sound equipment there and he didn't have a car, but he's gone. And they're like, oh, he must have just gone home.
Did anyone think to check with Ben Affleck? See if he picked him up?
I don't think they had much cell service.
Okay.
So,
right.
Yeah, Dan's processing.
Yeah, just go on. I'm just going to keep processing. That's fine.
Yeah. And then there's some more. We only get to see the Spectre so far in Mark's editing shots. So he's editing some more stuff and he's talking to Amy, who, irrelevant, but got her arm cut in her sleep the night before, like very Freddy Krueger, Nightmare on Elm Street style. Had nothing to do with anything. Don't know why they bothered.
Did anyone bring it up?
I'm trying not to skip over too much stuff, but it's just some of this stuff is more irrelevant than it sounds.
Oh, no. Keep with the irrelevant shit because it's the best part.
Okay, so she wakes up in the middle of the night and she's got like Freddy Krueger cuts in her arm and she's screaming and yeah.
But that screaming didn't wake everyone up.
No.
Just
Well, eventually. Not as much as the banging. Yeah. So the next night, Mark is watching the footage and they're chatting and then she's like, oh, what's that? Look at your footage. The way they've got it set up is still the screen with the footage and the two of them in the corner from his webcam or his computer camera, right?
Right.
So you can see the footage that they're looking at and also see them.
Right.
And turns out they found some footage of somebody filming them all while they were sleeping.
Right.
So somebody's filmed them while they're sleeping. And she's like, why would you do that, Mark? It's creepy. And then he's asleep. And he's like, see, it wasn't me. It must have been you. And she's like, no, it wasn't. Look, there I am. And then you see her arm getting cut open. And they're freaking out. And then in the bottom corner, and I know this because the scary music started, you can see the ghost behind them. So they're in the little bit at the bottom corner. The ghost is behind them. But then they turn the camera because she's filming him as well. There's a lot of camera angles I didn't understand. So then there's a lot of turning around really quickly and the ghost isn't there. And then turning back and the ghost is there. And then turning around, which made me feel a little bit sick. And then going back again. And then they get attacked by the ghost. And it's, and then obviously the camera falls to the floor so you can't see anything anyway.
Oh, that's a trope.
Yep. And then everyone hears them screaming and all you're getting is somebody's feet on the floor at this point. And she's like, show them, this thing attacked me and filmed us in our sleep and show them. But obviously the footage isn't there anymore. Dun, dun, dun.
I am fucking speechless after that.
Is that it? Is that how it ends?
What?
No. There's more.
All right. Okay. Go on.
Oh, I love that my next note is just my favourite line of them kind of meta talking about found footage movies and stuff. They actually don't have an end for the movie.
Of course they don't.
They just haven't written one.
For the one they're filming.
And Derek, obviously, is the main character, is like, why does my character have to die? And they're like, well, because otherwise it's not a found footage movie. It's just a footage movie, which is the only part of the movie that made me laugh.
What?
Everyone has to die, otherwise it's not found footage, is it?
Oh my God. They did not say
yes.
that.
That was my favourite bit.
Can we ready the drums, please, Dan?
Sorry. There we go.
Thank you.
The movie review of that is... That's it.
Okay, so what do you do when you're filming a movie? You get a journalist to come and hang out. This journalist called Scott, who I think it was an actual journalist. I think that was his real name when I looked it up. He came to set to hang out. And then the last 20, 25 minutes actually got kind of interesting. Not good, but interesting.
Wow.
They're all in the living room and Derek and Amy are in the kitchen filming a scene. All of a sudden, something starts shaking and then Derek explodes.
Oh, I didn't see that coming.
I think he explodes. I kind of couldn't really tell what happened to him. But he was a big pile of Derek.
Oh, I'm writing that down. That's got to be the title for the episode. Big pile of Derek.
But it all happens very quickly, so I'm going to go...
Hold on. Give me a minute. You just told me he explodes.
I think he explodes. Something happened to him. He got ripped into pieces, but there was a lot of blood and jawbone on the floor.
All right.
Questions?
So, he was a big...
Stop. Hang on. Hang on, this will make me feel better. Right, okay. Wait, that's the end?
Nope.
Okay, well, how does it end then?
Okay, so something happens to Derek. Amy screams, the door to the kitchen slams shut. The building starts shaking, everyone's screaming. Somebody obviously drops the camera because, it's like an earthquake and they can't get the door open. Everyone's screaming and then it stops. And there's a load of blood that's come under the door, which is obviously from the big pile of Derek. And Scott, the journalist, is like, that was good. Is that good? That's you trying to scare me and get me in the movie, right? And they're all like, No, some shit's just gone down.
Do.
And the joke just falls really flat. And then everyone else starts to die. Like the director, I think the spectre comes out of him like alien style. So this is where the actual found footage comes in, because Mark's like, fuck this, and runs away. But obviously he's still holding the camera.
So he's the last one to die.
So now this is where it becomes its own found footage movie. And he runs into the woods and he sees the ghost coming out of the cabin, and there's screaming, and there's a lot of where it's just pitch black because you can't see anything, and it's just him and I think Lily like screaming, and they still have to be meta, and she's like, why are you still filming this? And there's a reason, but no one cares. So she's like, you have to turn the camera light on. And he's like, no. And she's like, turn the light on. So he turns the light on and Lily gets picked up by the spectre, whisked up into the air, and then dropped onto the floor and becomes a big pile of Lily as well. That was quite good. I liked the gore on that. So it gets points for that. Still got 2 pages of notes left, everyone. You excited? Running around, found footage, blah, 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 blah. Mark gets in the car and out loud, I literally went, the keys aren't going to be in the car. The keys are never in the car. I'm fucking wrong because the keys are in the car. They were in the keyhole. So that's the one trope that they didn't use. And then all of a sudden he can hear someone being like, help, like help me. And he's in the car. So he's put the camera down in the car. So all you can see is like part of the dashboard. So he's hearing this woman going, help me. I was like, how can he hear her? And for a minute I thought he could hear her through the car stereo because that's what it looked like. And then I kind of worked out that she says she's got one of the cameras. So she's talking to him through the microphone on the camera and they're connected.
What?
I don't really know how this shit works.
What? Like camera walkie-talkies?
Yeah. She can't hear him.
Yeah.
And she's like, I can hear someone honking, like, because he's honking the horn.
It's a one-way radio.
Yeah. And then she's like, if you can hear me, honk twice. So he does that. And then she says, if you go back into the house, you can get the other wireless microphone.
It just sounds like a day in the life of me. Would you go get the wireless mic?
So he does, because I think he's slightly in love with Amy. And he goes back into the cabin and he has to guess who was wearing the wireless mic last.
Oh, it wasn't the big pile of Derek, was it?
It was. So he has to fish the microphone out of the pile of Derek.
Oh.
Which is weird because he exploded and it's all blood and bits of bone, but his clothes are still there.
A microphone intact, I bet.
Yeah. So then he can hear her and she can hear him. And this was the only other good bit about like the visuals. They then split the screen in half. So on the left side is her camera and the right side is his camera.
Okay.
Yep. She's in the woods, so you're getting all the stuff. And then you get him searching through camera bags for batteries and shit.
Riveting stuff.
Which I kind of liked it, but I imagined in 3D, trying to watch 2 lots of shaky found footage.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Could make you feel quite sick.
Be horrible, wouldn't it?
The batteries will be all over the show.
And I ended up watching this on my laptop, but I imagined watching this on a big screen and trying to watch 2 things at once that are shaking around would...
I wouldn't worry about it being on the big screen. I doubt this even made it to fucking VHS tapes.
That is true. Oh yeah, so he goes back in and he gets the microphone off of Derek. And of course they do a jump scare where Scott, the dead journalist, goes, "Wah!" And he goes, "Scott, are you all right?" And then Scott falls down. And that's the end of the jump scare. Again, I neither jumped nor was scared.
Mm-hmm.
Was Scott... I assume Scott is dead by this point.
Yeah. I think he was squished under a door the first time. I don't really know what happened. It all happened so fast. I don't know what happened.
What?
How did that happen? I think it's squished on the door.
When the building was shaking and... No, because that was before. I don't know.
Scott died, everyone. It's an important part of the plot here.
But Scott was dead.
R.I.P. Scott.
Scott died. R.I.P. Scott. So, yeah, so there's a lot of her in the woods, and then he gets back in the car and puts the lights on, and then you can see like his headlights, but then you can also see them from her angle of the camera, which is kind of cool. And then they find each other. He puts his camera in the car. So then you see him get out of the car and run over towards her, but the ghost gets her and slashes her back. And then Mark picks her up and puts her in the car. So then both the cameras are now back to one camera in the car.
Question.
Yeah.
Why would the other camera just turn off? I don't understand. Why couldn't you just have two at the same? Like,
I guess
she's not inside the camera. She's dead, yes, but the camera's still running.
no. She's not dead. She's not dead. Not yet. She's not dead.
Oh, okay, twist.
I've also got a question. Found footage films, I thought normally is the perspective from one camera. So the fact that they're using two.
Yeah, and they also set up, they had a bit about trying to put a surveillance, like a CCTV camera in the kitchen. And there was a whole conversation about you can't have a CCTV camera because they don't make 3D CCTV cameras. And Derek was like, I don't care. People are stupid. They'll think that they exist. They don't let you suspend any disbelief. Like if they hadn't have mentioned it, I wouldn't have thought, oh, you can't get 3D CCTV cameras. They have to explain everything.
Yeah, like that's what it sounds like. It sounds like you're the idiot audience member and we have to explain everything to you kind of thing. Like,
oh, they tell you that all the time. They literally say people are idiots. The audience is stupid. I don't know why they pay for this shit. They're stupid. They won't know. They say it all the time. I'd be offended, but I am using the free trial of Shudder, so I didn't pay for it.
You did choose to watch it as well.
Go sign up now for your free 2-week trial.
You should. It looks good. Just don't watch this.
Our first sponsor of the podcast.
Don't watch this. Watch Creepshow. Yeah, so he puts her in the passenger seat and his camera is on his lap. I think maybe they leave her camera in the woods, so then they just leave it because it's no longer necessary.
What?
You don't need to see it because it's just sat in the woods now. So they just go back to one camera.
Right.
And he's like, right, we're going to get away. Are you all right? And she's like, not really. And I think she starts having a fit. I don't know because the camera is pointed. I think his camera's on the dashboard. So he's driving away, but something's happening to her that I can't see.
Okay, right.
So he panics and looks at her and then he crashes the car because there was a tree in the road and he didn't see it.
Sorry, there was a tree in the road, like a fallen tree.
Like it had fallen down.
Oh, of course.
Okay, I thought it was just like an oak tree just in the middle of the tarmac.
Oh my
No,
God.
so he didn't see it because he was looking at her because she was making some weird noises. That was the best use yet.
Well played.
I could have done that 10 more times during your talk.
It's nearly over. We're nearly through it.
Wow.
So he's like, are you all right? He can't restart the car. And she's like, no. So they have to do the whole Blair Witch snotty
Yeah.
confession thing. So she's like, turn the camera around, turn the camera around. So you just see her like laying in the passenger seat. And then she knows she's going to die. But then she just starts babbling because he's like, no, I can get you out. And she's like, no, you can't. Like, and she's like, I'm really sorry. I'm so sorry. And he's like, why are you sorry? She's like, I'm sorry. And he's like, why? And she's like, well, it's the main rule of found footage movies. Everyone has to die. And then she turns into a demon. She attacks the camera, which would be good in 3D. And that's the end.
Fuck off. That's. I mean, that is like Oscar worthy.
I've no words. I have literally no words. That sounds like the most unbelievable thing ever, honestly.
I'm not going to blow my own trumpet, but I think I made it sound better than it. It wasn't as interesting to watch as it was to recount it.
Yeah, I know. Obviously you put your own spin on things and stuff. That's fine, but like just the plot, just the way like everyone doesn't seem to care and no one knows what's going on. But then they're saying, "Oh, that's the way horror movies go." But then you're inside on it because it's the behind the scenes bit, and then they don't know if this is actually part of the movie or if this is real, and it's just like,
yeah,
what? Like
it's reminded me of a different horror movie, which I won't give too much away because I think maybe I'll watch it for next week. A different horror movie that I also didn't like but could use a remake. It was quite a good concept, but I don't think it was done correctly.
Right, yeah.
But I think I might watch that for next week because that could have been good, maybe.
Yeah.
But I still don't quite know what they were trying to do.
It sounds, yeah, you said yourself, the execution just sounded all over the place by the sounds of it. Like, I like the idea of like the whole, it's a behind the scenes of an actual film. I like those kind of things because it's fourth wall breaking, but like it just sounds like a complete mess of what they're trying to do.
It was confusing.
Yeah. When you're confused and the audience is confused, especially still like an hour or so into the film.
Yeah.
That's when you just lose people. So
I rewound at least 4 different parts of it
there you go.
to be like, what's going on?
Imagine you're in the cinema and you can't rewind and you're sat there going, but what? Oh, well, okay.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, you can't... Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway.
So sorry that took so long, but there you go.
No.
That was found footage 3D, available on Shudder.
What a great first feature.
I do think they should rename it Big Pile of Derek.
Big Pile of Derek is a fantastic fucking title.
We are shooting field, the first ever found footage horror movie in 3D.
All right, Andy, do you want to go next?
I'll be honest, I'm not sure I can follow that.
Yeah, well, that's why I said you go next.
Well, I watched, I would say, a classic martial arts / gangster film today
Ooh.
called Jet Li's Unleashed.
Oh, my God.
And it is absolutely fine.
Absolutely fine.
Great review. It's fine.
Yeah. The concept is that
Sorry, this is not the bad Jet Li film. There was another Jet Li film that's really, really bad, and I forgot the name of it, but I guess it's not this one then.
I think the one you're thinking of is called The One,
Yes, that's it, the one. Yeah.
which I have got and might watch.
Oh my God. Anyway, talk about that one.
So, Unleashed, Jet Li is a guy called Danny. He is sort of like an attack dog for Bob Hoskins.
Sorry, all these plot lines you guys are coming up with.
Wait, Bob Hoskins is in this movie.
All right.
Bob Hoskins is in it, yeah.
And it's not Super Mario Brothers.
It's not Super Mario Brothers.
Okay.
No. It's not Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Love that movie.
It's Unleashed.
Right, okay.
So Bob Hoskins is a loan shark, and he uses Jet Li's character Danny genuinely as an attack dog. He's got a collar on his neck, and he'll flick the collar off, whisper in his ear, and then he'll just go and kick the shit out of people.
Sorry, Jet Li is an attack dog.
Yeah.
And he's wearing a dog collar.
He's wearing a dog collar.
And he takes the collar off when he wants him to attack people.
Yeah.
And he's got a leash on, and what?
No. It's not a leash. It's just a collar.
Why does he take the collar off?
Because Bob Hoskins uses him as a threat, as a weapon.
Yeah, but can't he attack people with the collar on?
Yeah.
Yeah, he could, yeah, but
Oh, okay.
he's been trained from a young age. The more I'm thinking about this, the more fucking ridiculous it sounds.
You just realised this is fucked up.
So he's trained. He's like, I don't want to say kidnapped, but he's found as a young child. He's put this collar on. Question Penny.
What does he whisper in his ear? Do we know?
It's normally stuff like "get him" or "kill." It's stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
It's not sweet nothings.
Ice cream for you later.
Oh, I thought it might be like a safe word, like pineapple, and then he goes. But obviously not.
Yeah, different kind of collar films, I think, Penny.
Oh.
Is it like Stockholm Syndrome, that he's basically kept him captive and he's like brought him up to be his own?
Yeah,
Okay,
so he's
right.
brought him up, and by brought him up, I mean he's left him in a cage and given him like tins of cold spaghetti hoops to eat. So yeah, he takes the collar off. Bob Hoskins is a bit of an arsehole in it. He says something along the lines of, "If you pay the money, the collar stays on. If you don't, the collar comes off." And then he unleashes the collar and off he goes, kicks the shit out of people.
So he doesn't need the word, does he? He just needs to take the collar off.
He just takes the collar off. Yeah,
Must have to give him a bath with the collar on, because otherwise he'd attack something.
I'll be honest, judging from it, I don't think he baths him at all.
Okay. Just from a dog owner's perspective.
He's not an actual dog. He's a real person. This isn't a kink film.
I feel like I would like it more if it was an animated version where Jet Li was a dog. Can we make that happen?
I can certainly write to him.
21st Century Fox, get on the phone. All right.
He eats cold spaghetti out of tins. He wears rags. I assume he shits in a bucket as well.
Mhm.
But he
Very nice.
he's essentially just his pet. So Hoskins uses him as a deterrent and a threat when he goes to collect his cash from the people he works with, I guess. I don't know how loan sharks work.
He loans people money and they have to pay it back.
Yeah.
Oh, no, yeah, I know that bit. When he goes to collect.
Oh, you said I don't know how loan sharks work, so that's how they work.
Yeah, but I mean, are they clients? Are they...
Are they actual sharks?
So, after a few occasions, he goes to an antique store with a load of pianos.
How many is a load of pianos?
There's about 30 of them.
That is a load of pianos.
Yeah.
How does he get 30 pianos?
I don't know.
I'm focusing on the unnecessary details. I'm sorry.
Welcome to the Unusual Suspects. Why does he have 30 pianos?
How many pianos is a load of pianos?
It's at least 24, I would say.
Okay.
Right.
So he's in there. He's sort of waiting for Bob Hoskins to unleash him. And in strolls Morgan Freeman, who is a very kind, deaf... Oh, no, he's not deaf. He's blind. He's a blind piano tuner.
Right.
Be a totally different film if he was a deaf piano
A
tuner.
deaf piano tuner. Don't want to make it too complicated.
Yeah,
I think it's in A.
he's blind.
Right.
So Morgan Freeman knows that Jet Li's there. I don't know how he can't see him. He asks him to help tune a piano, which he does. And then he realises that he should have gone in to kick the shit out of Bob Hoskins' pals or whatever.
Wait, Morgan Freeman should have beat the shit out of...
No. Morgan Freeman is just tuning pianos.
So Jet Li was supposed to beat up some people, but instead he helped Morgan Freeman.
Tune a piano.
So the precursor to this is that they went to a jeweler's, and Bob Hoskins was saying, if he takes the collar off, it's bad. And the jeweler deliberately stopped them from taking the collar off. So Bob Hoskins got fucked up.
Right.
So he was trying a new method where he had a little blinking light as a trigger.
Because there are no blinking white lights anywhere ever that might...
Certainly not in piano warehouses.
Yeah.
That's what I learned.
What about when you cross the road?
There's one thing I've taken from this film. It's blinking lights don't exist at pianos.
So Bob Hoskins gets a new business opportunity, and that is underground fighting, where Danny would really dominate the field.
Yeah.
So he gets thrown into a ring with this dude in a gimp mask.
Oh, you said it wasn't that kind of film.
Yeah, it's slowly starting to sound like,
Well, bits of it are. He's thrown in the ring with this giant gimp who hasn't been beaten in 15 months.
That's a strong gimp.
And Danny knocks him down in 3 punches to the throat, and that's it. 15k straight in the pocket.
Oh,
Winner.
what a guy.
Quite the result. So they're on the way back to Bob Hoskins' gaff, and he's waxing lyrical about how fantastic the day is. Great. We've made 15k. He can settle himself on retirement. That dream of the hookers and the tits in his face is going to become a reality. And then bam, car crash.
Is it Derek?
It's not Derek. It's not Derek. So car comes ploughing into the side of his Jag, and Danny, for some reason, gets out without a scratch. He's absolutely fine. So he walks off, assuming everyone else is dead, and somehow walks into a bar where Morgan Freeman is, tuning a piano.
He's not drinking. He's tuning the piano.
Yeah, he's just in there tuning a piano. I don't know how he found him. Quite the coincidence. Anyway, Danny collapses, and then he wakes up in a child's bed. And when I say child's bed, I mean a small child-sized bed, not a bed with a child in it.
Yeah.
And he's wearing cowboy pajamas. And they are dreadful.
The pajamas.
The pajamas are dreadful, yeah. But his rag clothes are just folded up on the chair, which means that Morgan Freeman must have had to undress him.
Why would Morgan Freeman have to have undressed him? Maybe he just gave him some pajamas.
He was out cold. He collapsed.
Oh, sorry, I missed that bit.
He said he was out for 2 days.
Oh.
Which means that in that 2 days since he collapsed in the bar with Morgan Freeman has got him home. He's either he can't drive because he's blind, so he's either put him in a cab and persuaded the driver that it's not weird that he's putting an unconscious person in the car, or he's carried him, but he wouldn't have seen where he was going.
And then how can he hold his stick?
Yeah, exactly.
And the only spare clothes Morgan Freeman had were cowboy pajamas.
For a child.
But does he know that they were cowboy pajamas? Because maybe he just couldn't see them.
I think he probably knew, because he later makes a reference to having a cowboy hat that he used to wear in the bath. So I assume he was just a fan of cowboys. There's a girl living with him, with Morgan Freeman. I don't know what their relationship is. It might be his niece, but I don't think it was. You never find out.
Sounds interesting.
He's kind of like a father figure to her. But she turns up with a load of shopping in like brown bags, which I have never seen in any shop.
What, a brown bag?
Yeah. It's an American thing, right? So it's an American character. She goes shopping. She comes back with brown bags in London. How the fuck does that happen?
Oh.
Also, whenever you see people in films with those brown bags, they always have leaks sticking out of the top of them.
That's how you know there's something in them.
Yeah, but...
What, in every film?
Mate, 90% of the films that I've seen those brown bags in...
You've seen leaks coming out of those brown bags, man.
They always take the leak out, and it's like, why? Who eats that amount of leeks?
I've never eaten a leek.
No, me neither. Anyway, so because Danny is so naive to everything and he's sort of learning everything as a child again, he gets taken around by Morgan Freeman and Victoria, the Let's Go niece.
Right.
At one point, they say this is the best shop in Glasgow. 2 things. It's a spa. It's definitely not that great. And 2, pretty sure they're in London, but I think this was filmed when Billy Connolly was supposed to be the Bob Hoskins character.
Oh, okay.
Also, the woman he speaks to in Spa has an English accent. So you've got an American talking to an English woman in Scotland.
But it looks like they're in London.
Yeah. So Danny's underdeveloped, right? They have to teach him things. Mainly they teach him about food, like how to use a spoon, how to tell if a melon is ripe, and what ice cream is.
Sorry, the melon.
Can you just remind me what genre this film was when you started? Did you not say it was a martial arts film?
Yeah.
I mean, every film Jet Li's in is a martial arts film, isn't it?
That's what I thought, and I've never seen one. And this is not how I thought they would go.
Your opening statement was Jet Li is in a collar. And he goes, "Go, boy." And he runs off.
Yeah. I can't tell you how many films he's flicked a melon to tell if it's ripe, but I can't imagine it's that many.
Right, so they're teaching about food and melons and all sorts of essential stuff about food. Go on.
Yeah, they go out and they do things that sort of ingratiate him into social norms. They go boating on a lake. And they go to the cinema.
Of course. Why wouldn't you? Break the fourth wall there.
Yeah. This whole time, he's still got his collar on. He won't let anyone touch it. And when anyone comes near it, he flinches and, like, pushes them away.
Oh, like a sad puppy.
Yeah, like a sad puppy. After they've done the cinema and the boating and what is vanilla? Oh, vanilla's cold. Yeah, that's just ice cream, pal. They get back home. Victoria manages to persuade him to take the collar off.
And he beats the shit out of her.
As she starts to, unclick it, he starts to flinch and react. And then he cracks her in the teeth.
Yes, that is what I wanted to hear. Yes.
Okay, he doesn't do that.
Oh.
I'm actually disappointed.
He lets her take it off.
He what?
Well, then it gets a little bit uncomfortable because after that, she tenderly kisses him on the neck where the collar was.
Oh.
It's worth pointing out that she is playing an 18-year-old and Jet Li was 42. So,
Okay, I mean,
Yeah.
maybe it wasn't that kind of affectionate kind of
Like
showing.
It's okay, puppy.
Look, I mean, it looked
Yeah.
very sultry.
What happened to Jet Li's career? Has anyone just thought about that for a minute? Go on, sorry. Go on.
So he's all happy in his new life, right?
Yeah.
With Morgan Freeman and Victoria.
Tuning pianos, yep.
Tuning pianos, and
How does he know how to tune a piano if he doesn't know what ice cream is?
Morgan Freeman taught him.
But didn't he help him originally? But he didn't know what ice cream was when he first met Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, when he... Good point.
I know that experience.
When he first met Morgan Freeman asked him to help, and all he wanted him to do was just press 3 notes.
Oh, okay.
That was it.
I'm going to interject and just, according to IMDb, Jet Li is going to be in the new live-action Mulan movie. So there you go.
Oh, that'd be quite cool, actually.
He's going to be the Emperor.
Cool. That's cool.
That was your Jet Li update. Ba-bum.
I hope he eats ice cream in it.
Tunes pianos.
So Danny is all happy by himself now, right? He's happy with his new family. He goes to the best shop in the world, the Spa, over the road. And he bumps into one of Bob Hoskins' henchmen, who is like, "Oh, mate, we haven't seen you for a while. How's it going? He's really missed you." And it's like,
Are we still in Glasgow?
come on, just walk away. Yeah, and are we still in Glasgow? Because it's a long fucking walk from London to Glasgow just for Spa.
But it's the best shop in the world.
Desperate times, man. Desperate measures. Go to Spa.
Spa's not even Lidl. Come on now.
It's a poor man's Aldi, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the henchman takes Danny back to Bob Hoskins,
Right.
who's in a neck brace and has a cast in his arm after the car crash. He also says it's only been a month. So in that month, Jet Li has tasted ice cream, learned how to ripen a melon by flicking it, learned how to use spoons, gone to the cinema, gone boating, now has like a full like strength of language and stuff. He's turned into a proper person in a month.
Right.
I'm not going to be a proper person after this lockdown, let alone.
But he's also now planning to move to America with Morgan Freeman.
Why?
After a month.
Yeah, but no.
That's insanity.
Why is he? This seems like nothing happens in this film. It just seems like they eat ice cream. Maybe they go to the bar. They go to the cinema. They fucking tune a piano. What actually happens in this film?
It's like Baby's Day Out, but with Jet Li.
Yeah. All right, go on.
So Bob Hoskins immediately takes him back to the dog fighting thing, puts a new collar on him, and Danny refuses to fight anyone.
He should have refused to put the collar on and go with him in the first place.
Yeah, but he's subservient to him because Bob Hoskins is like, oh, I raised you as a child, as my own. No one wanted you, you prick.
Fuck off, Bob.
Get fake.
So Danny's in this fight with a guy and he's just sort of outmaneuvering him, not trying to hit him and anything. And as a result of that, another 3 people join the fight. So it's 4 people against Jet Li. And I'll be honest, he's a baller. He holds his own. But he also doesn't kill any of them. He sort of does the bare minimum to protect himself. And by that, I mean he breaks a guy's collarbone with a sledgehammer.
Ouch.
Yeah. So once they're all on the ground, Bob Hoskins is obviously pissed off because he doesn't get paid unless they're all dead. So he shoots them and chucks Danny back in his cage and says, a master commands and the dog obeys. And at that point, I thought it was starting to get a bit seedy. What made it worse is that in Bob Hoskins' drawer, he's got pictures like Polaroids of all the women he's fucked, which is quite creepy. And in the night, Danny escapes and manages to find a picture of his mum.
What?
No.
Yeah.
Is he Jet Li's dad?
No.
Oh.
So the whole subplot of this film is Jet Li hears music in his head that he starts playing on piano with Morgan Freeman.
What?
So he also learned to play this one song on piano in a month.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So he has this music in his head, and Victoria's like, how do you know that? And he's like, I don't know. I feel like I knew it from my mum, but I don't remember my mum. He finds these pictures that Bob Hoskins has and goes apeshit. Bob Hoskins just said she was a whore that ended up dying, and that's why he has to look after Danny. Which, you know.
I'm not sure that's how that works. But
So the following morning, Bob Hoskins, his mate, and Danny are going to somewhere else, presumably to get some more sharks to loan out. And they're talking about some bollocks, and Danny's thinking about pianos, and then he manages to flip the car.
he's not driving it.
He's not driving it. No, he's in the back seat, but he leans forward, grabs the steering wheel, flips the car, and then gets out like nothing has happened. He might be a Terminator because he just walks away from everything. At one point, he dodges some bullets. Someone's shooting him from quite near, and he just moves out of the way.
Quite near. Just sidesteps.
Anyway, so Danny fucks off. He manages to go back to Morgan Freeman and Victoria.
Who didn't notice he was gone because he couldn't see.
Correct. He's also got a picture of his mum at a piano. He gives the picture to Victoria, who plays the piece that she was playing. Yes, question?
Yeah, no, go on. I know. That was my next question. Yeah, go on.
So he plays the piece that she was playing, and suddenly his whole memory comes back to him. Danny remembers what happened to her and how she died. And lo and behold, wasn't it the old bastard Bob Hoskins who shot her?
What a twist.
Meanwhile, Bob Hoskins...
Meanwhile, in the ice cream shop.
It's chocolate, Danny. Chocolate is a different flavour. You should try it.
Chocolate.
Meanwhile, Bob Hoskins... Bob Hoskins has gone to the spa in Glasgow and held up a picture of Danny and said, "Do you know this guy? I really need to know him. I need to know where he is." So they find out where Morgan Freeman and Victoria are.
Right, okay.
I should add, Morgan Freeman's character name is Sam. I've just not said it yet. So Sam gets home from wherever he was. I guess he was out for a run. And Victoria and Danny are packing up suitcases because they know they need to leave because Bob Hoskins is on his way around. They look out the window and there he is. He's literally outside.
Like Michael Myers standing outside your window.
Yeah. So Bob Hoskins sends in like a load of people to kill them all. And Danny just goes apeshit and murders a whole heap of them. So Bob Hoskins sends in a ninja. I want to say ninja. He's like a big bald dude. He's like master martial arts guy. There's probably a technical term for that. So he goes in. He's wearing like a white Reebok tracksuit. It looks unusual. What with his big white egghead. And he's the only person in the whole film who can match Danny punch for punch.
Why doesn't he just keep him then and leave Danny alone?
I don't know. I guess because he's not as subservient. At one point, Danny bites his nipple off. Don't know why. Just takes a big chunk out of it, spits it on the floor.
This is getting kinky. I gotta be honest. This film has been like half kink, just half ice cream tasting.
Bob Hoskins is like, fuck this. I'm going in to find Danny. Danny kicks the tracksuit dude out of a window. Bob Hoskins goes to find him and he finds the flat that they've all been staying in, sees the pajamas, gets pissed off at them and shoots them. He obviously isn't a fan of cowboys.
Or pajamas.
Or pajamas. It's excessive. He genuinely says, fucking pajamas, and then shoots them. And you're like, what? It's so excessive. He's as annoyed at the pajamas as he is at Danny.
I don't think anyone's ever been annoyed at pajamas before.
Fucking pajamas.
Anyway, he finds Danny and corners him. He's got a gun pointed at him and he offers to help him and put a collar on him so he can take him home to his real family.
Oh.
But Danny is too clever, and as Bob Hoskins starts to swing the collar around his neck, he catches it and basically just kicks the shit out of him. There's nothing more to it. It's just gratuitous violence at this point. Morgan Freeman then comes out to stop Danny from killing him.
Boo.
But Danny pushes him away, and Bob Hoskins is saying, "Oh, you're an animal. We're always the same people. We're both animals. Think of the things I did to your mother. She was a slag."
Not nice.
So Morgan Freeman twats him with a plant pot to shut him up.
What? Wait, isn't he blind?
Yeah. So he could have quite easily hit Jet Li.
How does he hit him with a pot plant if he's blind?
At a lot of points in this, I was wondering whether he was actually blind or not.
Actually blind, yeah.
I'm not totally sure if he was doing it just to get disability allowance or not, because it was a bit suspicious at points.
You think he's claiming benefits on?
Yeah, I mean, he's cooking like a soup and he's getting all the seasonings right. He's just feeling them out and popping them in like it's not a big deal. I can't do that.
Like, how many pianos are there that need tuning? It can't be that much money. Like,
Well, in that one warehouse, there was at least 30.
that's true. But once they're tuned, how long do they stay tuned for?
Got you there.
A year, 18 months. Depends how much they use. Ours last for like 2 years. No one ever plays it though.
It's not a lot of income. Probably does need that disability.
Exactly.
So anyway, hits him with a pot plant.
So he hits him with the plant pot, right? And then it cuts directly to Victoria on stage playing the piece of music she played for Danny.
Right.
But there's like a chunk that's missing where after he's hit Bob Hoskins, there's either a dozen henchmen outside that are going to kill them all anyway, or they're suddenly going to be like, oh no, sorry mate, you're the top don because you've killed our boss, we'll fuck off. I don't know how they've suddenly got to that point. And also, he's either knocked him out with the plant pot and then he would still be after Danny, or he's killed him with the plant pot and he's just sort of hypocritically told Danny not to do that. I don't get it. Anyway, it was fine. It was totally fine as a film.
Was that it?
Yeah,
Fine.
I enjoyed it.
Is that how it ends?
Yeah, that's generally how it ends.
Oh,
He hits
okay.
him with a plant pot and that's it. Game over.
What?
Yeah.
So we don't know what happens if Danny gets to try more flavours of ice cream.
Yeah. How many more pianos will be tuned? I want to know this shit.
Does he move to America?
I don't know.
Does Bob Hoskins go into a coma and that becomes the Super Mario Brothers?
His backstory.
I tell you what, it'd be great if it was the same universe, wouldn't it?
That'd be great.
That would be amazing.
I can't believe that's the end.
Yeah, that was it. I felt very unsatisfied with it.
I have a real problem with films with shit endings. I know everybody does, but
Last thing you see, isn't it, really?
yeah, like if I go to the cinema, especially with my sister, and she'll be like, "Oh, what did you think?" I was like, "I thought it was shit," but you laughed all the way through it. I'm like, "Yeah, but the end was shit."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
If the payoff isn't good enough, it's pointless sitting through the rest of it.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
and I'm
Yeah.
looking at you, Hereditary, but let's not go into that right now because we don't have time.
Ooh, debate.
Pajamas. Fucking pajamas! Ungrateful little bastard! Where are you?
Anyway, so yeah, this is an extra long bumper episode. Jeez.
Yeah.
Mine's really short, by the way. So I thought of a couple of things to do, but mainly one of the topics I got on to was Nicolas Cage. Of course, many topics lead to Nicolas Cage, and they always do. But Nicolas Cage, he's made a lot of films, as many people know, mainly because of his tax spending and his buying of dinosaur bones, which is another thing I might get into another time. But he's made a lot of films, and a lot of people say that Nick Cage films are shit, which is fine. But he does still make films a lot of money. And this is why, ladies and gentlemen, you are in for the premiere of Higher and Lower Nicolas Cage films.
Higher or lower? Definitely not stolen this from another game show. Higher or lower?
Stupid fucking game shows we're coming up with on the
Please give me
unusual
more
suspect.
money for my family.
Welcome to Nick Cage.
That was a wonderful surprise.
God, I try to keep a straight face on that.
Wow. Yeah, that was a thing that you did.
That took me 30 minutes to do this morning.
Time well spent. You could have watched a third of the 3D found footage with me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I have plenty of time to go into that film. I can't wait. Anyway, so this is a quiz, and it's you two against each other, head to head.
Oh, hello.
And what I need you to do is to say if a Nick Cage film has made higher or lower than the previous Nick Cage film. It's pretty simple in terms of gross revenue worldwide. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So what we'll do is I'll give you a film, and then I'll go to Andy first or something, and then Penny can say higher or lower. It's up to you guys. If there's a tie at the end, there is a bonus question for 2 points. And there will definitely be a winner at the end. So there you go.
Oof.
So we'll start off with a baseline of 25 million. Okay. And I'll start with Andy. Raising Arizona, did it make higher or lower than 25 million, please?
Lower, please, Dan.
Penny, higher or lower than 25 million?
Lower.
Lower? You made 29 million, guys. God, you guys.
I'm so bad at things like this.
So, 29 million is the baseline. Gone in 60 Seconds. Penny, did Gone in 60 Seconds make more than $29 million or less than $29 million?
I would believe it made more.
Andy?
Higher, please, Dan.
You're both correct. It made $101 million. Gone in 60 Seconds. What a terrible film.
Oh, see, I seem to remember liking it the one time I saw it when it came out.
I quite like it.
I saw it, once, and I was like, oh. Okay, so 101 million is the baseline. Face Off, classic film. Andy, did Face Off make more than 100? I will put interesting music in the background during this. Did Face Off make more than 101 million? Or less than 101 million?
I'm going to go lower, please, Dan.
Penny?
I have no idea, so higher.
Penny's got it correct. It's 112 million.
God damn it.
Andy's been itching for a quiz all week.
I know, I wasn't expecting it to go this way.
Well, there we go. I wasn't expecting this podcast to go the way it did. There we go. Okay, Kick-Ass. So 112 million was the last one. Did Kick-Ass make higher or lower than 112 million?
Higher.
And
I'm going to go lower, please, Dan.
lower it is, 96 million. 2-2 between you two. Con Air. Did it make more or less than 96 million, Andy? Con Air.
Lower, please, Dan.
Penny?
Yeah, lower.
Made 101 million, guys.
You know why? It's all the hair blowing in the...
That was that. I still don't understand why it made that much money, but either way.
It's amazing.
It's not. It's we're more than halfway through. So, Wicker Man, one of my favorite Nic Cage films.
Oh, God.
So 101 million. Did Wicker Man make more than 101 million? Penny, higher or lower than 101 million? Wicker Man.
Lower.
Andy?
I'm also going lower.
Correct. 38 million.
It's because it's fucking dreadful.
Yeah.
The original one is amazing.
No, the Nic Cage one's great. Oh, the bees. Not the bees. Okay. Mandy, his most recent one, I think, in terms of like prolific ones he's released, sort of. Did Mandy make more or less than $38 million? Andy?
I'm going to go less because I've never heard of it.
Penny?
Oh, I'm going to go higher because everyone talked about it. Doesn't mean they saw it though, I suppose.
It only made 1.5 million.
Yes. Back in the lead.
Nic Cage probably took more money to make that fucking film. So, yeah. Final 3, I think. Army of One. I've seen this film. To give you a quick synopsis, it's about a man who goes crazy and thinks that he's seen Jesus, so he goes to find Osama bin Laden and hunt him down. Did Army of One...
We're just moving on, are we? We're just moving on?
I will talk about this in a future podcast because it's worth discussing. Did Army of One make more or less than 1.5 million? Penny?
So the fact that you had to explain what it was is going to make me go lower.
Okay. Andy?
I'm going to go higher because it's 1.5 million.
Yeah. But
It made a grand total of 372,000.
yeah.
So 4-4. We have 2 more and a bonus question if you are still kind of tied. Bonus question is 2 points, so either way we'll probably play it. I did have a jingle for the bonus question, but I deleted it because it's even worse than the first one.
Aww.
Leaving Las Vegas, did it make more or less than 372,000, Andy?
I'm trying to work out if this is a trick question or not, but I'm going to punt and go higher. I'm going to take the over on this.
Higher than 372,000. You going to take the over, Penny?
Yeah, same. Higher.
You are both right, 32 million. And finally, The Rock, starring Sean Connery, Nicolas Cage, and someone else. I can't remember that film really well, but I used to watch it a lot. Did it make more than 32 million? Penny, or less than 32 million?
Gonna go with higher because I don't know.
Okay. Andy?
That's annoying because I was also going to go higher, but I'm inclined to now go lower to just differentiate.
Penny takes the lead.
Yeah.
It was $335 million.
Yeah,
The Rock.
I knew that.
Okay, Andy, you can win if you get this right. This is a bonus question for 2 points. You guys have to name me the actual gross number, and whoever gets closest to the actual figure will win. Tell me how much National Treasure made. Please. The closest wins this. National Treasure with Nicolas Cage. He made 2 of these films. I'm talking about the first one now, not the second one.
The first one was really successful. It had good reviews by a lot of critics and it made a lot of money. So I'm going to go 370,000 million.
Wait, 370,000 million?
Million.
Are you Pretty Patel?
I'll have to take your first answer.
Satire. That was the perfect time for a drum roll.
Oh shit, I forgot. There.
370 million, please, Dan.
370 million. Penny?
Now, do I come up with an actual answer or do I go with the Price is Right strategy?
I'll go 371.
Yeah. That's what I'm going to go with, 371 million.
The actual figure is a mind-boggling $459 million. It made nearly $500 million.
I like that you're celebrating, Penn, but you really shouldn't be.
I know.
Penny has won the first ever edition
Woo!
of Higher or lower?
Higher or lower? Definitely not stolen this from another game show. Higher or lower?
The stupid fucking game shows we're coming up with on the
Please give me
Unusual
more
Suspects.
money for my family.
And that's the end of the podcast. But before we go, I can't do that with a straight face. I tried really hard. Before we go, we're going to do our movies out of the hat. Let me just get this set up. If one of you just wants to briefly explain it while I get the thing up.
Sure. So we have all submitted a load of films to each other. We've put them in a hat. We'll draw one film out of the hat. We'll watch it between now and the next episode, and then we'll talk about it, break it down, and essentially see why it's either good or shit.
So, yeah, I'm the only one who's seen all the films that everyone's put in because I kind of kept the whole group of them. Like, we had no duplicates, so it's completely varied. Like, everyone choose completely different things. So, we got about 59 movies. Obviously, we'll add more over time as the list goes down. But the first film we'll be watching is selected by Penny, I think. Hatchet.
Oh, yeah. Hatchet is a amazing B horror movie directed by Adam Green. There are now 4 Hatchet movies, I believe. Not all of them are as good as this one.
I have not seen any of them, so this will be interesting. Okay, so if you want to join along next week, go watch Hatchet. I don't know where it is, but it'll be on somewhere. Just have a look. But we'll be watching Hatchet and then discussing the film at the end of the next podcast, and then we'll do the same thing again. We'll obviously have new segments next time as well. Can't wait for them.
Can't wait for more jingles.
After this first episode, for the 1 hour and 40-minute episode, just went mad. And yeah, more jingles. Who knows? You never know. What's our socials, Penny?
You can follow us on Instagram at Unusual Suspects Pod, and Twitter currently is Podcast Suspects, but we might change it if Twitter lets us have a better name.
Come on, Twitter. Sort yourself out.
Yeah.
And our socials?
I'm at Penny_PhotoPit.
I am at Choices21.
And I am at Dan Talks a Lot. We'll be back next week for more stuff.
And things.
Whatever the fuck happened in this one. We'll be back for more. My God. If anyone told you or asked you what's the greatest first episode of a podcast you've ever listened to, make sure you tell them. Why am I pointing at the camera? They can't even see me. Make sure you tell them that it's the Unusual Suspects, and they're quite funny because they talk about absolute amazing things. And just tell your friends, tell everyone, tell your mother, tell your dog, tell your ice cream man vendor, tell your piano teacher.
Your piano tuner.
Tell them all. Yeah, just tell them all. The Unusual Suspects. You want a good laugh about weird things in movies or things we find interesting in movies, then give us a listen. So, yeah, go find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. I don't know if we're on these things yet because none of it's set up yet. So, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, we'll be on other stuff. I'll probably mention it next time. Anyway, thank you very much for listening.
Cheers.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.